and welcome to your weekly look at Tiffin University football. Hi everybody, I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Tiffin University Dragons. To my left, head coach, Mr. Cris Reisert. Coach, how are we doing today, sir?
Doing great, awesome day outside.
Big week. Rivalry week's always a lot of fun for not only us, but for Findlay as well. We'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah, it always has a different energy when it's rivalry week. It's always a whole lot of fun. You can use all the cliches you want. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but first, let me ask you a question before we get into the Kentucky Wesleyan game. What's the most amount of points you scored as a player? Do you remember?
I honestly don't know. I'm not real sure. I wasn't sure. Somebody asked me if that was a school record or not. I didn't quite know. As a player, probably somewhere up there, but I'm not entirely certain. Yeah.
You guys had me out of voice by halftime. You know, we had a soccer game earlier in the day, but we got a lot of scoring plays on here. We'll run through them fairly quick because we got to talk about Findlay with the big game coming up. But the Dragons went on the road to Owensboro, Kentucky, a nice stadium there. It's a fun place to go and play, a nice facility. And we when we previewed the game, Coach, we talked about Aaron Beide being the quarterback. And it ends up being a young man who I hadn't seen in a couple years, Wiley Kane, and I didn't even realize he was still in Kentucky, was still playing down there. A young man's been a part of the GMAC for a long time.
Yeah, he has. I think he's been a SAC representative for quite a while.
Yeah, he was a president for a couple years.
Yeah. And, you know, we had kind of planned for the Aaron Beide kid, and Wiley ended up playing. And so it was one of those things where you kind of throw some of the plan out the window and deal with what you got.
Right. All it is football when it comes down to that, right?
Exactly.
Well, Kentucky Wesleyan struck first, a quick field goal early on to take a 3-0 lead, and that was about as much fun as the Panthers had the rest of the contest, because after that, after a Darius Pinnick 74-yard kickoff return, you got a lot of return yards on Saturday. Anthony Lowe, who had not found the end zone through the air, but one time coming in this game, has a few through the return game. Actually had 3 of them. One of them called back in the first quarter, but the first one counted, an 8-yard pass from Drew Zabi, who got the start for you. I understand Christian was a little under weather this week and kind of limited his reps this week. Yeah,
no, Christian was out with the flu pretty much all week, and so, you know, Drew had an opportunity to basically take all the practice reps, and so had a chance to get in there early, and with Christian not practicing, it's kind of hard to throw him into the fire a little bit, you know, but Drew did a really nice job, I thought, in the opportunities that he had, and took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, he had a couple touchdown passes on Saturday. 2 of them in the first quarter, as a matter of fact. First one, Anthony Lowe, the 8-yard touchdown pass, put the Dragons up 7-3. And then a 25-yard touchdown pass to Anthony Lowe again from Drew Zabi. This one was set up by a nice 16-yard pass from Zabi to Jalen Thomas during the drive.
Yeah, no, good ball, good throw, great play by JT, and I think the theme of the day was, you know, a lot of the scoring drives are aided by either special teams or defense. And so, you know, I think, you know, both of those guys, both of those units did a great job of presenting favorable opportunities for our offense. I thought our offense did a great job of capitalizing.
It's a lot easier as an offensive play caller when, like, in the first drive, you get the ball like almost like the 11-yard line to start off. Thing makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
All right. So far in the first quarter, Drew Zabi's thrown 2 touchdown passes to Anthony Lowe, and then Nick Basile, who had a big day for you as well, very consistent on Saturday. A 31-yard field goal after put the Dragons up 17-3. The big play on that drive was a 3rd down run by Darius Pinnick prior to the field goal of 11 yards to make it a little bit easier kick for Nick.
Yeah. No, DP had another good day. I thought our offensive line did a great job. You know, we had. I think it was like 271 on the ground, and obviously they were the pivotal part of that. And Darius and Devin and Tyrese and Tyreek all did a really good job in the run game, and as did our tight ends influence in the run as well. Yeah, the offensive line did a wonderful job for you guys. Jalen Humphrey, you know, is going to have a lot of tackles. That's just what the guy does. Yeah, I think he had 9 in the first half, as a matter of fact. But you know what? It's one of those situations where you can't put all your concentration on one guy and let 6 other guys make all the plays. You know he's going to make the plays because he's a darn good football player. But you guys really handled the line of scrimmage and made the defense do react to what you were doing as opposed to you guys reacting to what the defense was doing. Yeah, I think anytime you can be the aggressor in the game, I think it gives you an edge. And Saturday was an example of that. And I think part of the aggressive mindset was the field position. So it allows you to play the type of game that you want to play. In the second quarter, I was wondering if Devin was like, come on, Coach, why are you taking me out? I try to get you down to the 35-yard run to get you down to the 3-yard line, and then Darius Pinnick caps it off with a 3-yard touchdown run to put the Dragons up 24-10. But it's not like Devin didn't have a pretty darn good game for you on Saturday. Yeah. No, and I think that's kind of the power of those guys. You know what I mean? Where hey, Dev had a great run. He's tired, and get him out for a play, and DP go in. And, I'll take it. And he'll take it, right? DP's got no problem with that. And same thing. DP busts a big run and Dev pops in, and those guys just have a great continuity where it doesn't matter who scores, just matters that we score.
Yeah, and it wasn't just running back scoring
No.
on Saturday as well. Well, a touchdown pass coming up next, and as Coach alerted to earlier, a lot of the offensive scores were set up by special teams and defense. Well, Caleb Street gets you an interception, and Jalen Thomas from Drew Zabi for 29 yards to cap it off to be the second score of a big second quarter for your kids.
Yep, no, a huge second quarter. I think it was, 40 points or something in the second quarter, right? And that
It was 38.
38 points, right, in the second quarter, and that was really the driving force, I think, in getting us into position to feel comfortable in the game.
We mentioned it wasn't just running backs scoring touchdowns. Will Thomas, the quarterback number 3 on the depth chart right now, a 7-yard touchdown run. A couple of weeks ago when you played, I think it was at Ashland, I think I said that he had maybe set a record for most kick returns by a quarterback in a game as he was getting those short kicks. We got a 7-yard touchdown run again set up by the defense. Hunter Waits with a fumble recovery for you.
No, Will's one of those guys that does so much to help us. He practices as a quarterback. He's a quarterback, but in order to get him in the game more, right, we use him on special teams. We bring him in and let him run the football. I think he still can really throw the football too, and so we're excited for his future as a quarterback and in a big role. And so, but right now he's got 2 guys ahead of him, and so it's one of those things where just to continue to be able to develop him, being able to play him, I think is really important.
Will, one of those guys, I mean, he looks like a big dude. He's out there in a uniform. He's one of those first guys off the bus guys, right?
Yeah, no, Will's a big kid, and he's a football guy.
Right.
He likes ball, tough kid, does what you want, and we'll put it on the line for you.
Absolutely. Well, Anthony Loa got in the end zone. Jalen Thomas got in the end zone. You got another wide receiver. I know sometimes in the game they're lined up all on one side. It was like 1, 2, 3 on the numbers. Josh Lewis from 24 yards out, a pass from Drew Zabi, and a big play in that drive was an 11-yard play. Zabi finding Connor Muldowney for a big pickup during that drive.
Yeah, no, Connor had a big catch and did a nice job in the run game for us as well. And Josh ran a really good route and got open, and Drew threw a really good ball and ended up with a touchdown for the Dragons. So it was one of those quick strikes that you love to see, and anytime you can have those, it expedites everything and allows you to put stress on the defense and on an opposing team.
Your receivers went up and made a lot of plays for you on Saturday. You could really say that.
Yeah, it was good to see. I thought they played really well.
Darius Penix, a 6-yard touchdown run to put the Dragons up 52-10. Then you get an opportunity to do a little bit of that 2-minute drill at the end of the at the half. And when you first got the football, I was thinking, they're just going to take a knee. I'm like, wait a minute, he's looking at this as an opportunity to get his younger guys working that 2-minute drill. Was I right?
Well, it's still the first half.
Yeah.
So for us, it was a chance to get a live 2-minute round.
Yeah, I thought so too.
We hadn't gotten one in a while, and so to have the chance to do that and just the operation and to play football, I thought was a really nice thing. And for Drew, Drew had never done that before.
Exactly.
Here at Tiffin. So I thought it was just a nice coincidence, and we got a chance to do it.
You can't replicate. You can try to replicate things all you want out the Paradise Athletic Complex or behind us here at the Henry Center, but you can't replicate game reps. You just really can't do it. Nick Basil, that field goal at the end of the half, a 34-yarder, puts the Dragons up 55-10 at halftime. I probably drank 5 or 6 bottles of water because I couldn't talk much more after that first half. And then Nick again, after a Chucky Lewis interception in the third quarter, a 24-yard field goal. Now the Dragons up 58-10. So Chucky again, part of that opportunistic secondary you got.
He's Johnny on the spot. He does a great job when they throw it to him and almost took it to the house, got tripped up. It was a great effort play in a lot of different ways by a lot of different guys. But no, he continues to show up, and I thought he played really well on Saturday.
It's nothing better than a reaction of a guy on defense who gets his hands on the ball and has a green field in front of him, and then gets tripped up. And then he gets up like, I don't get these chances.
I felt for him because I wanted it so bad for him.
I love it. That's so funny. Devin Nelson, the final score of the third quarter, a 4-yard touchdown run to put the Dragons up 65-10, set up by a Drew Zabi 16-yard run.
Yeah. No, he did a good job running the football and showing some of his athleticism, and it was good to see.
Fourth quarter, only one score, and Christian Carter, he had played a few series in and out during the first few quarters, and then fourth quarter he gets a 16-yard touchdown run set up by an 11-yard run by Tyreek Spikes. Dragons take a 72-10 lead. The Panthers tack on a field goal, and the Dragons hold on for a 72-13 win. It had to be a pretty fun bus ride home after some good work by your young men.
Yeah, anytime it's a long ride, you like to leave the other place with a win, and so it allows you to rest a little easier. It allows you to celebrate a little bit and decompress and watch a movie or two and get home.
I bet the kids, it didn't take them long though when they got home. I mean, I'm sure you give them normal 24 hours over to enjoy yourself and get ready. But with it being rivalry week, I bet the kids, as soon as they got home, they were ready to get to work on Finley.
Yeah, I think so. I think we try and, I don't want to say diminish it, but for us, we try and treat it like it's another week.
Certainly.
Well,
you have to, don't you?
But anytime, I think so.
Yeah.
But anytime, you're playing a team of their caliber and a program like that, and you understand the tradition of our university versus their university, and that it means a lot for a lot of different people. I think that there's always going to be that little bit of edge to it. There's always going to be a little bit of an uptick in focus and clarity, and so that I enjoy. And we're really excited for the challenge and the opportunity to play those guys and have a lot of respect for them, but look forward to getting out there and battling.
Well, at the start of the season, the preseason rankings had Finley and Tiffin as the top two teams, and Tiffin sitting in the second spot right now. If you look at the tiebreaker with Ashland, actually tied for first place in the GMAC, but Finley's coming in winning 5 straight games. They struggled at the start of the year. I don't know if it's part of their schedule, but they seem to have righted the ship a little bit here over the last few weeks, and now you're welcoming in maybe the hottest team in the GMAC for that Saturday noon kickoff.
Yeah, no, they've won, I think, their last 5, and playing really good football. I've been really impressed with the improvement they've made throughout the season, and I think it'll be a great challenge. And for us, it's a cool opportunity. You win, and you get a share of the conference championship, and which is a big deal. And so being able to do that, I think, is a big plus, and be 3 of the last 4 years been able to do that, and so we're really excited for that, and looking forward just to playing a good week of football and putting our best foot forward.
Yeah, we've been spoiled with the weather a little bit. Not going to be as warm this Saturday.
Probably
around 40 degrees, but who cares? That's football. That is football. November, and if you're playing football and it's not pelting with cold rain or snow, you can deal with what you're dealing with on a November Saturday. Finley coming in 4th in the conference in scoring offense and defense, 5th in total offense and defense. And a lot of their numbers, Coach, are kind of similar to ours. I mean, I think we get a little bit more out of our passing game that they do. We probably get a little bit more of a rushing game. When you look at it overall, I think that they're a very similar football team to us, and really can just look back to those preseason rankings. Everybody probably pretty much thought the same thing about us and Finley, probably being the 2 top teams. And you mentioned the rivalry aspect of it. Only less than 30 miles away, and a lot of people in Tiffin work in Finley. People in Finley work in Tiffin. We go to each other's houses for not only football but all the sports across the board. It's just a lot of fun to have not only have a rivalry, but have one that's a natural rivalry just because of the location of everybody. It's just a lot of fun to be a part of.
Yeah, no doubt. No, there's a bunch of crossover, and there's so much carryover between the 2 schools, and I like that it's a mutual respect, and I think that it's always good to get out there and settle it on the field. Right.
Well, Dragons this Saturday at 12 noon. We'll be there with our pregame here on WTUD at 11, and we'll join Coast Country 100.9 on your FM dial at 11:30. Then don't forget, after the game, just come on back to the Gilmore Student Center, part of the GMAC GLVC Women's Basketball Challenge. We'll have 2 games on Friday night and 2 games on Saturday night. Then we got the men's soccer on Sunday at 12 noon, playing in the second round in the NCAA Regional. So all kinds of fun stuff going on campus this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun to just be kind of like the centerpiece of a huge athletic weekend on campus.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great weekend for the Dragons in a lot of different ways. Soccer teams playing, basketball teams are playing. So I think anytime you have a lot of activity and as an athletic department, we get to put all the hard work and the diligence and all the things that we do on display. I think it's a really cool chance, and so happy to be a part of it, and we'll be ready for the challenge.
When you played Ohio Dominican, who did you look at as your big rival?
When I was in Ohio Dominican, it was St. Francis.
Okay.
Back in the NEI days, so St. Francis in Indiana, and so that was the big one. They were always really good, and we always kind of were striving to be that, and so we got to knock them off my junior year, not my senior year, but my junior year was a good win for us. Then they exacted revenge my senior year, but that was the natural rival. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the difference as a head coach as opposed to a player when it comes to playing these type of rivalry games?
Playing quarterback and being a head coach, I don't know if it's that much different. It was always just trying to kind of manage the external stuff, and for us, I think it's about locking in and being detail driven and being focused on just our day-to-day tasking and staying present and in the moment, because it's so easy to look ahead to Saturday and think about that or think about this and the game can become much bigger than you want it to be in your head mentally. And so as a quarterback, it was always kind of the same thing. It was like, hey, I gotta got to watch this tape. I got to worry about this and worry about that. You got to control your emotions and control the way you communicate with your teammates. And it's no different being a coach. And so
right.
I always felt like that was really good preparation, playing in those big games, and then getting a chance to coach in them,
right.
and having that similar mindset to where it's, hey, you got a lot of people looking at you, and let's just stay the course, have a great week of practice. And how it falls, it falls.
I think you're right when you said detail-oriented. Really paying attention to the small things allows you to keep your focus on the smaller thing rather than let the big things widen your focus for what you need to stay on.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think anytime you play in a game like this, it still has to be about you, right? It still has to be about us and about Tiffin and about the things that we do, whether it's preparation or how we communicate with each other, what we believe in, right? What we play for. I think anytime you play a game to beat another opponent, I think you're going into it wrong. I think you want to play a game to play your best, to play for the guy next to you, and to play for your program. And so we'll continue to do that. And it's always a little bit of a harder test when you play a rival and a really good football team because you want to think about all the things about that. But anytime you can lock in and focus, compartmentalize, and do our job, right, for Tiffin and allow ourselves to be our best, then however it plays out, win, lose, or draw, you're proud of it, and you can build on it.
Well, that's the difference between a coach and a fan. The way they look at the game. That's so true. But, all right, Coach, it's going to be a fun one this Saturday. I know you got more work to do. We won't keep you here. And I appreciate you rescheduling the coach's show for me with some stuff I had going on this week. And just really looking forward to it. It's always a lot of fun. And keep the kids working hard. And I'm sure that you prefer a noon kickoff on these type of games than a late kickoff. A noon kickoff is perfect for a rivalry.
Love the noon kickoff. Get to be with our families and enjoy a Saturday. And so anytime we get that as coaches, we're through the roof. So
absolutely,
this is it's cool when you wake up and it's like a kid on Christmas morning, right? It's game day, and so usually if it's game day and it's a 7 o'clock kick, you got to wait all that time, and now it'll be wake up, boom, 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 go play, and go have a fun day and get after it.
Saturday at 12 noon, kickoff at Frost County Stadium, the Dragons and the Findlay Oilers. Make sure you join us again at WTUD here at 11 a.m., 11:30 at Coast Country 100.9 on your FM dial, and I'll have all the streaming for you on the Great Midwest Digital Network. You can also catch up the links at GoTiffinDragons.com. Go get it, Coach. We'll talk to you again next week and talk about another Dragon victory.
Yes, sir. Go Dragons.
All right, this has been the Coach Cris Reisert Show, your weekly look at Tiffin University football.